On this episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic, we debate what is real hip-hop. Plus, is Black Panther one of the greatest movies of all time? All that and more of this episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic.
First of all, let me tell you something. Lamont is just full of
Sometimes my mama said, when you don't have nothing nice to say, you should be quiet.
People say that Stephen A. is a coon. You agree with that? Everybody got quiet on that one, okay? Go ahead.
Rudy Giuliani practices voodoo. So he put a voodoo hex on my girl, Hillary, and that's why she got woozy. And the Secret Service had to prop her up and put her in the van.
But take us to a break, my dude.
It was voodoo, son.
I don't know about that voodoo.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Three Black Guys with a Mic. It's Black History Month, and this month we want to highlight those who have achieved in Black history. We salute Albert King, NBA basketball great and Wendy's franchise owner. Albert King has played for the Washington Bullets, San Antonio Spurs, and the Philadelphia 76ers. In 1981, Albert King was picked 10th overall in the first round to the New Jersey Nets. But Albert didn't stop at basketball. Albert continues to score big in the business world with Wendy's. That's right, Albert King is one of the only African-American men to own a Wendy's franchise. Name and statistics aside, no one gave Albert any restaurants. He earned them, owning 3 Wendy's full-service restaurants in the New Jersey area. For Black History Month, we salute Albert King, NBA basketball legend and Wendy's franchise owner. Now, let's start the show.
Three Black Guys with a Mic should have sang the national anthem instead of Fergie.
I saw some of the clips, you know what I'm saying, but she's trying to be sexy with it. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to be artistic and creative, and sometimes you got to tell a lot of artists, listen, certain stuff you just don't mess with. Like, you don't, you just can't, like let's say Tory Lanez wants to do like a Luther Vandross record. Like, Tory, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let Luther be Luther. Stay, it's just,
Right.
and it's just some stuff you don't mess with.
Yeah, didn't you learn from Ruben Studdard?
Exactly. It's like, don't do that. So, and I saw how you just tried to take a shot at my man. Shout out to Ruben. That's my man. So don't do that, man. He put some biscuits on these table over here for a while. Don't do that, man.
Where's Big Ruben at now, though, man?
I mean, he probably down in Birmingham, just chilling, probably eating some Popeyes.
About to do a play.
Yeah, do a play.
Coming to the stage, Ruben Studdard. In Mama.
Where is the Popeyes? Yo, that
He
was
said,
foul.
Mama.
Yo,
He said, Mama, where's the Popeyes?
that's great. Yo, that's wild disrespectful, yo.
Yo, Ruben Studdard gonna beat you up when we see him, man.
He gonna beat you up.
He gonna beat me up because I didn't say that. I just said, Mama, you put the Popeyes in there.
That wasn't my voice. Was that my
It
voice?
was your voice. You know that Ruben Studdard went on a diet, B. He lost a couple hundred, man. He lost a couple hundred.
Cassie, good for him. Good for him.
So you didn't watch the All-Star game, Lamont?
No. As soon as I heard that, it goes to LeBron's team, to the whoa. Whatever happened to the East versus West?
That's what I was about to say, because when I was watching last night, and I was like, wait a minute, I thought it was East versus West. When did it become Team LeBron and Team Steph Curry? Like, when did that?
Well,
when did they put
this
that in
actually was kind of dope, because I felt like it was kind of dope, because what they were able to do is LeBron was able to draft the players that he wanted to draft from the East or the West, and Steph was able to draft who he wanted to draft from the East or the West. So you wound up with these mashups that you would never see. You would never see LeBron and KD on the squad together. But now you get to see that. You would never see Steph Curry with Joel Embiid, 76ers, my man from Cameroon, be getting LeBron next year. That's what's up, baby. You would never see those cats together, and now all of a sudden they on the same team, and it's, it was an interesting take, and there was a lot of defense, even though I think it was between the two, it was almost 300 points scored. Last year it was almost 500 points scored. So, or it was almost 400 points scored last year. So this was great. I thought it was a better show than it had been, except for that Kevin Hart debacle that was the opening of it. That was just, I think Kevin Hart went full thong song on us right now.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I didn't really
came
watch it. I wasn't really interested in it. I did watch the halftime show. I didn't really think Pharrell did a good job. I was like, Pharrell, you got 3 kids. It might be time to be at the crib with the kids. I mean, I thought that the Migos did a great job. You know, I like the Stir Fry record. But I was like, Pharrell, this is not what you do anymore.
Yo, how's Culture 2 doing for Migos? Is it doing numbers?
I mean, Stir Fry is rocking out. But that's a Lamont question.
I think first week, and don't quote me, they were like around 200,000-300,000. So first week out, they did have a number 1 album. Streams is definitely steady. I don't know where we are now, so we probably like in the third week of the album. I'm not sure, but like Spud said, I'm feeling Stir Fry a little bit in terms of, you know, my ears. It takes a little bit longer for me to catch up, but you know, people talking about it because I'm just catching up on Jaden. What's his name? Jaden Smith. I'm slow with it, dog. That's fire, bro. I can't look at him, but
that record is fire.
You turn it on. That is hot, but don't look at him. Don't look at the video. Don't look at him on YouTube, but just turn it up.
That record is hot.
That is blazing.
That record's hot.
You can't front.
At least the first verse is hot. I don't know about anything else after that because it seems like he's kind of repeating. But the Smith
first verse is the whole verse, right? I mean, that's the whole thing, right?
It pretty much is the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing over and over and over again. But Will Smith, shout out to Will Smith. You know, he's not a hip hop legend in my opinion, but Will Smith did the parody to it, and that was just even made the record even more big for me. Shouts out to Will Smith. How can you not like Will Smith?
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Does the cat? Whoa! Don't let that slide. The cat got your tongue. Didn't you say, Maynard, that Will Smith was like the greatest MC of all time?
No, I never said that. I said he's hip hop.
Oh, that was a travesty. You said, okay, gotcha.
All I ever said he's part of hip hop. The boy Spud was just trying to deny him any parts of hip hop. That's all.
I just said that I don't think that he's a hip hop artist.
That's denying him any parts of hip hop. But you got to go back and check his resume. Those first 2-3 albums with him and Jeff, that's hip hop.
How? Girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble.
That's where hip hop was.
What?
No. At that time, no, Maynard got to get that. At that time,
it was not. And man, I can't even believe that you would even say that. How was hip hop there at that time when you still got KRS-One, you got Rakim, you got Run DMC, you got all of those people, and you telling me that hip hop was there at that time? No way. There's no way.
Let me defend myself.
Please.
Can I defend myself?
Yes, please.
Now, here's where Maynard's right, and technically Maynard is wrong because Maynard, what he didn't say was. No. I'm gonna put him right where he needs to be, where he's right. He needs to say when he was with Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Well, that's what I said.
No. You said Will Smith.
No, I said
when you put Jazzy.
I never. Listen, hold on. Be clear, my dude.
He did not say Will Smith. I
said those first 2-3 albums with Jazzy Jeff, or I might not have said Jazzy. I said with Jeff.
No, you said with Jeff.
Albums.
Yeah, but let's just get it all the way right. We just want to make sure that we include DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
That's fine.
I still don't understand where there is hip hop in that album.
Oh no, bro. What was that song? Brand New Funk. You telling me Brand New Funk wasn't?
That's a good song.
Summertime was killer. Brand New Funk.
Whoa! No. We are not putting Summertime in this category.
Summertime is.
Wait.
This stuff. No, let me ask you this. Let me ask you to fall back, because BEP didn't drop their first joint until after Will dropped his first joint. So
yeah, but Summertime is 90s. Summertime is 91, 92.
Will Smith was already out. Will Smith, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince had been out doing it already. So it was out there, not necessarily Summertime, because you're right, that was in the 90s. But what I'm saying is where things were, where it was the precursor to that was Rapper's Delight. That's
not hip hop.
So hip hop didn't start until Cat started.
Whoa, wait, what did he say, Maynard?
He said it's not. You can't.
Rapper's Delight is hip hop.
Yes, it's hip hop. It's at
Spuds, come on
it's
now.
at the crux, my dude.
It's at the.
It may have been.
It's not. Spud, stop playing, bro. Come on, man. Don't do that.
I don't see it. I don't see where anybody on this podcast is telling me that Rapper's Delight is a hip hop record.
What is it?
I mean, it's a good rap record. I don't think it's a hip hop record. I don't. Tell me how you can compare.
Let me add. Prior to that record coming out, prior to Rapper's Delight coming out,
there is nothing.
Tell me what else you would call hip hop.
Nothing other than Grandmaster Cash. Hold on. Other than Grandmaster Cash, you probably could put that in the hip hop category. But there's anything out. When you start talking about, you mean to tell me that you're gonna sit up here and compare Rapper's Delight to The Message, or to Eric B. for President, or either My Philosophy? You're gonna compare Rapper's Delight to those songs?
That's where hip hop was. That was 1979. Eric B. as President is like 1986. The Message is like 82. It was 1979. That's where hip hop was at that moment.
That's where it began, in the South Bronx. I'm sorry, I just can't give Rapper's Delight the accolade that it needs to be a good. I'm telling you, I don't even think that. Do you think that the average white person would say that that's a hip hop record? No, I think that the average white person would call Rapper's Delight, Fresh Prince a rap record. They would not call that a hip hop record. They would call KRS-One a hip hop record, My Philosophy.
I don't think that the average white person would necessarily be as discerning. And we said the average white person would necessarily be that discerning between hip hop and rap music. The average black person is not necessarily that discerning, and definitely not this millennial generation.
So who would you consider hip hop? Who would you consider? Okay, so would you consider Rakim hip hop?
Of course he's hip hop.
Okay, so would you think that if you had a conversation with Rakim, Eric B. and Rakim right now, do you think that they would say that that Rapper's Delight was a hip hop record?
Of course.
If they don't, they're not being honest.
Oh my God!
Hip-hop. That's where that's part of the beginnings. Listen.
So Maynard.
So you telling me that Fat Five Freddy and Blondie is a hip hop record? Rapture, that's a hip hop record?
Of course.
Oh, you're killing me. You are killing Blondie.
So yes.
Rapture is a hip hop record.
Yes.
Let me disagree slightly, Lamont. I wouldn't say it's a hip hop record, but I would say it's part of the culture.
It's part of the culture. I will give you that.
Without Blondie, and let's keep it clear right here. Be exact, 100% clear. What Fab Five Freddy was able to do by introducing rap and hip hop to that uptown punk rock, rock and roll scene is really what blew the doors open for hip hop to even exist.
But Migos can't be hip hop because that's where the culture is at this time.
No,
how is it changing?
Migos has I think there's a challenge with Migos and many rappers or many groups like them in this space today where there's no DJing. There's no DJing. I haven't heard. I've complained on a regular basis. I've complained. No, spinning a record. When we talk about DJing in hip hop and we talk about DJing a party, they're two different things. Maynard, here's where you're wrong, and Spud is right on this part, because if you got to say that Migos is not a hip hop, because they also, and you're just going to use a DJ, they also don't have. Because you know where I'm going. They don't have b-boying. They don't have any graffiti art, right?
But we're talking about evolution. We don't do that anymore. So the evolution isn't there anymore. So why is it still not hip hop?
But we do that still.
Who?
No, the mainstream, Maynard. Stop. You reaching.
Okay, well then fine. Let mainstream be mainstream. That's the same as saying, and they continue to say it. They continue to say that they're pop stars, that they're the Beatles, that they don't associate with this thing down here. But we had a phenomenal hip hop record from Tribe Called Quest last year. We had a phenomenal hip hop record from De La Soul.
Tell me
Common.
what's the difference between Tribe Called Quest and Migos?
Well, in the Tribe Called, there was art in the Tribe Called Quest.
Budget.
Budget?
Yeah.
What's the budget have to do with it?
Budget?
Yeah, Migos had a bigger budget. But
why does that matter?
Come on now.
Why does that matter?
Because it does matter.
But why?
Because there's a certain perception.
Budget is not in the top 5 of the things that you have just said. So why is
here we go.
Why is that different?
Here we go. If you watch the Tribe Called Quest performance, say for instance on Saturday Night Live, or you watch Tribe Called Quest, the album itself, and realize that art is a phenomenal piece of what's happening. And I'm not talking about the music. I'm talking about graffiti. I'm talking about the artistic expression of visual art. That's a piece of it. There's DJs involved. There's actually a sample or a breakbeat from several different songs on the album. And then there, in fact, are lyrics that are rapping lyrics that we understand as MCs.
So because we don't understand the Migos,
again, what Black Thought has said, who I think we recognize as one of the dopest MCs of all time, and his 10-minute freestyle on Flex is proof to that. He said, I just want these cats to pick up a dictionary and try to use words again, because they literally, like, half of the lyrics on a bunch of the stuff from Culture One is skirt, skirt, skirt. Like, those aren't lyrics. That's not lyrical. And as a result, if you're not using words, if you're not painting a picture with words here, that's not that's not the MCs. So
Maynard. So Maynard. So let me ask you, do you like jerk chicken and rice and peas?
I love it.
Me personally, I think it's disgusting.
Okay.
Jerk
I don't
chicken,
like
rice and peas, huh? How could you not like that?
Yeah, I'm good. I'll pass. I just don't. I saw in the peas, it wasn't real peas. It was like some black stuff in the rice. I'm like, what is this? And they was like, oh, this is jerk chicken and rice and peas. Now, the reason why I asked you that, Maynard, is that, you know what? Everybody looked at me like I was crazy. And I said to myself, I grew up in 7 miles of Myers. We didn't have jerk chicken and rice and peas. So it's like everybody has a preference. So I think that let me finish. I think that you're wrong when you say that because Migos did their evolution of what hip hop is to them, we just can't say that that's 100% whack. We can't do that because at that time, my grandmother, who listened to Rappers Delight, she thought it was whack. She's like, what is this noise? And I remember her saying that when I was a little bitty kid. So I think some things is generational and it's an opinion thing.
Well, let me expand on that because I remember because I saw an interview. Hold on, real quick, because I remember. Hold on, real quick. I'm sorry because I remember Run DMC, Rev Run said he remembers dissing Outkast because he didn't think that Outkast was hip hop and that anything outside of what he defined as hip hop was wrong. But he could not understand that Outkast was the evolution of what they were already doing. So I don't see how Migos is not the evolution of that. Now, what I agree with you, Maynard, I don't think that Migos is hip hop. I think Migos is rap. I think E40 is a rap artist. I don't think that he expands the culture forward. I don't think Migos expands the culture forward. That's just me. So if I look at somebody as a hip-hop artist, quote-unquote, I would not put Migos in that category because I don't think that they move the culture forward. But that is just me. I didn't think
that niggas is crazy.
Let me speak to Lamont's jerk chicken, rice, and peas.
Why we gotta be niggas?
You niggas is crazy.
Whoa, my dude.
You niggas is crazy.
Can we stop with the N-word? Wakanda exists. Goodness gracious.
You niggas is crazy.
T'Challa would not approve, my friend. T'Challa would not approve. Oh, my goodness. So the whole idea behind your jerk chicken, rice, and peas. Listen, you might not like jerk chicken and rice and peas.
Hey, but I knew I'd get him with that one. That stabbed him in the leg on that one.
But you can't deny that this is really jerk chicken with rice and peas. Now, if somebody takes a plate and put some chicken in the oven and put some jerk sauce on top of it with some white rice and some green peas and says this is jerk chicken with rice and peas, no, it's not. That is an imitation.
Now watch this. So now you're disrespecting my mama, because when I was growing up, we had Del Monte green peas out the can. And when I went to this backyard barbecue, they gave me this brown, black-looking stuff. It was like, Lamontes are peas. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not green.
What I'm saying,
so you telling me that
I'm not. Listen, my man. Look, my man.
So is my mother a liar?
Apparently she is, because you're the one man that she talks about Santa Claus all the time. You called her a liar. I didn't. My mother's a liar.
Yes, your mama is a liar because Santa Claus is real.
You said that, not me. You the one that said your mama told you about Santa Claus to eat the money and put money under your pillow when your tooth fell out.
You said that my mama. You said my mama has green peas and those are not peas.
I didn't say that they're not peas. I'm saying that is not jerk chicken with rice and peas. That's just
not in a can. Not from a can, Lamont. I'm sorry. That's not jerk chicken, rice and peas. Not from a can. There's no Del Monte and anywhere. There's no Del Monte at all. Jerk chicken, rice and peas. All right, let's go to a break. We come back. We're going to talk about Black Panther. In my opinion, one of the best movies ever. We talk about Black Panther. We come back. It's Three Black Guys with a Mic. What do we do in the new year? We always try to change our eating habits. We want to be better. We want to eat healthier. And we want to make sure that we're putting the right things in our body. So we want to make sure that we're eating fresh food for 2018. No more frozen food. That's why we're sending you to Wendy's. Guess what? Wendy's is even gotten bigger on the 4 for $4. Now you got 8 choices instead of 4 choices. Yes, a junior bacon cheeseburger, a junior cheeseburger deluxe, a double stack, crispy chicken sandwich, a crispy chicken BLT, a grilled chicken wrap or a spicy chicken wrap. You can get all that with a 4-piece nugget, a small drink, and a fry. All at Wendy's. So head over to Wendy's, get yourself something fresh for lunch or dinner, or if you're just in the mood for a snack. So head over to Wendy's right now and get yourself a Wendy's 4 for $4 with 8 choices. Offer not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. Now, back to the show. We have absolutely no guests this week. It's just us. It's been a while since it's been just us because Lamont said that we need guests, so we've been doing guests. And Maynard said, yeah, we need guests. So we've been doing guests. And I've been the only one saying we don't need no damn guests. It just needs to be us. So this week we're taking time off.
Scratch. We're going to need a reintroduction. Let's just.
So we're taking this time to not have any guests, to give you just the raw 3 black guys with the mic. And as you can see in our pre-intro, we've been talking about Black Panther, which I would say is now in my top 3 movies of all time.
What? Jesus. What?
Yes. Top 3 movies of all time. There wasn't one moment of the movie that was bad. Not one moment of the movie.
Maynard, we need to find out what kind of grease his Popeye's chicken was cooked in, because the movie hadn't even been out like 48 hours, 72 hours yet. The greatest of all time?
It's one of the greatest.
Lamont,
it's in my top 3 movies
man.
of all time.
You're missing the point.
What's the point?
You ain't turned on the radio and heard New York coming to a screen near you. He got some hype for his money on that. He got some hype for his money. He got some spots, Lamont.
Oh, I'm slow with it.
I got the international markets.
They license.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
In parts of the United States for some hype for his money on that, man.
Listen,
okay, that's what's up.
The movie is one of the top 3 movies of all time. One of the top 5 movies of all time. Coming to a screen near you is Black Panther. All the way from Wakanda.
But can you explain, to some of our listeners who haven't had a chance to see Black Panther, why on God's green earth you would say that it's one of the greatest movies of all time? Why would you say something like that?
Here's a couple of reasons. One, the graphics, the directing by itself is superb. The storyline, the connections in the movie, the all-black cast, the fight scenes, everything about the movie was on point. There isn't 1 second of this movie that's bad. Not 1 second of this movie that's bad. Everything in this movie is superb. A1. Top notch. Top shelf. A 10. 5 stars. Everything in this movie is good. Now, a lot of people were saying that Michael B. Jordan wasn't that great, but I thought actually he was really great in the movie. This is a movie that you should go and see, that you should take your kids to go and see. It's great. It's fantastic. This movie is what black people should see on the screen as a representation of themselves, especially when you're talking about Hollywood, because most of the movies for black folks in Hollywood are gang-related, prostitutes, negativity. There's not that many positive roles when it comes to black films. This movie, and regardless of that, aside from all of that, but this movie is just a straight-up good movie. And I'm not a Marvel DC Studio fan. That's not the name of it, but it's Marvel Studios. I'm not a Marvel Studio fan. I'm not an Iron Man fan. I'm not a Superman fan. I mean, not Superman. I'm not a Spider-Man fan. I'm not an Avengers fan. I'm not a Captain American fan. None of that. This movie tops all of them.
Lamont, did your check cash? Because I didn't get the Marvel check.
I mean,
Three Black Guys.
I hear
Mike is being brought to you by Marvel Studios, Black Panther, in studios right now.
I mean, I'm gonna say I hear what he's trying to say, but I just feel like, and maybe because I'm not into the comic books and the whole superhero, aesthetically, did it look good? Absolutely. And if nothing else, one of the reasons that I'm very excited about the movie is because what it's doing for people behind the scenes. Like I said, from a director standpoint, you know what I mean? This is a very big notch on his belt. But I mean, for me, at the age that I am, for me to sit there and say that this cartoon-looking type fantasy movie-ish is the best that I've ever seen, I'll pass.
What's the best?
Was it
Give me your
cool?
top 5. What's the top 5 movies of all time?
Top 5 movies of all time?
Yes. Number 1, Godfather.
Number 1, Godfather.
I was about to say, I mean, because you got to put, and then we would have to fight and be like, are we going 1, 2, and 3? But you got to put it all together.
Okay.
I mean, nothing tops, The Godfather.
Okay, nothing
I
tops.
mean,
I'm with you on that one. That's number 1.
I mean, I got a couple, bro, that you just gonna,
Well,
you all are gonna shun me.
Say it.
Wait, just let me set this up.
Bad News Bears.
Don't be a menace by drinking. Don't be a menace while drinking juice in the hood.
Nah. You know what? Here's one, and my wife, she'll co-sign it because she doesn't understand why I watch it a lot, and it's still fairly new. There was a movie called Sicario. Did you guys ever see that?
That's not. I don't even understand how that's even in your top 20.
To me, I like murder. I like drugs. I mean,
but you're from
like
the west
that
side
kind
of
of
Detroit,
energy.
so yeah, I understand that you like.
Right. Right. I mean,
like
that's what I like. I like Sicario. I like Crush Groove. I watched that like on some comedy, like one of my all-time favorites. But I'm dating myself like Maynard.
Don't bring me into your shit.
No. I still got to put Scarface in there. I mean, I don't know if a movie about a fake place and some stuff that's not real, that's just not for me. That ain't my thing.
Let me throw something at you right here, because Lamar, I think you would you might have some real insight on this. Mm-hmm. So this thing did not so numbers.
I don't have insight.
Shut up. You already gave him a 17-minute endorsement with your hype voice money coming in and everything. Everybody
Black
knows
Panther's in theaters right now, being brought to you by Marvel Studios and Disney.
This hype voice production. Yeah. Okay. So remember when like 2000, 2001, like 98 through like 2002, everybody who came up with a record was doing like 4 million copies, Lamont. Like it was just like platinum was like
the norm.
Was just And then remember when that artist that could do 3 million copies, the next album they came out and they did maybe 1.2.
Right.
And then the third album, they were like, yo. And so what I'm afraid of, because I love the success that I'm seeing that Black Panther has had. And that may say to them, to Hollywood, like, oh, well, we're just going to go ahead and do something else. But if the something else doesn't do these types of numbers, then they're going to say, well, let's abandon that. And so all I'm just saying is, how can we turn this success into finding ways to get Jay and Oprah and Tyler and whoever else to get together and say, no, we're going to have this film company that can fund and greenlight films, because the minute that we ain't doing those numbers with the next film is the minute that we back there just doing like,
Boo.
What you say?
Medea, Boo.
Right.
Boo 2.
Nah, don't be a menace while drinking your juice in the hood. Right.
And that was my joint, by the way. Come on, man. Come on. Let me get that.
But you know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense, Lamont? Am I reaching or what?
Why are you not talking to me like I don't have an intelligent
Because
answer?
you hide your space. My dude,
But I just want to just make sure that I have somewhat of an intelligent answer to that, too. I mean, I'm not as intelligent as you because I know that you have a master's degree, but I just want to just make sure that I have somewhat of an intelligent answer to respond to that. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lamont.
Well, no, man. I think what we just don't want to kind of put a lot of maybe false expectations on what is to come. So it's almost like, back in the day, if your master tells you to pick 10, bales of cotton, and you come back and you do 15, then the following day he's going to want you to do 20, and the numbers keep going up and up and up. So are you saying that same slave master
how this got into slavery?
Of course, everything go back to slavery, bro. Because again, all of this, praising of Black Panther, the mouse Marvel is making oodles of money. They're the real benefactors of this for years and millenniums to come. So let's not forget that too. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the play, right? Here's the play. Avengers Infinity War is coming out May 4th, right? This is the Disney play. Because what I am curious about is how many white people actually went to go and see Black Panther? How many Avengers fans went to go see Black Panther? In my opinion, this sets up the opportunity for Infinity War, which is an Avengers movie that comes out in May, to do more numbers.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing
it neither. I'm not doing it either. Now, to Maynard's point, I understand your point.
Hold on. Before you go too far, Spud, because Lamont and I have a point of agreement here. You just said that leads us to an opportunity to take a walk on Mars on Tuesdays only if Wednesdays are moonlit. Like, Negro, I have no idea what you said.
If Avengers come out in May, no.
Wait, okay.
That is Greek. I'm not a comic book movie nerd Negro.
But this is the thing. Let's think marketing. Now, May. Now,
Departed or some.
Okay. Let me get there. So Lamont, you are the marketing genius here. All right. This is what you do. Records is your thing, right?
Okay.
I'm even gonna position it to both of you guys. Maynard, you're the sales guru here, right? So, Maynard, let me start with you. So if I, as a advertising person, right? If I come to you and I say, I want this particular station, I never heard about your other station, and neither has the audience ever heard about this station. But I advertise on this station to get your audience to get to the other station or to get to whatever else that it is that I want them to actually see, then that's a coup for me. I win in that situation. Same thing with with Lamont. If I'm going to use Tamar Braxton. If I put Yo Gotti with Tamar Braxton, then it introduces Tamar Braxton fans to Yo Gotti fans and Yo Gotti fans to Tamar Braxton fans. That's my point. This movie introduces black folks who've never seen any Marvel Comics movies ever to the future of Marvel Comics. Because now I'm invested into what Black Panther has to offer, and now I want to see Black Panther in all the rest of the movies. So now it's only more money for Marvel Comics and Disney, because when Infinity War comes out in May, which Black Panther is in, I am going to go and see that movie. Or, like I did, I'm going to go, hold on, I'm almost done. Or like I did, I'm going to go, and like I told Maynard, go see Civil War, so that way you understand Black Panther. Then that gives him a vested interest in actually seeing the next movie. Everybody got quiet on me.
So Abbott and Costello had this skit where it was like, who's on first, what's on second, I don't know who's on third. That's what you just did. I have listen, my dude, I've watched different Marvel Comics movies, typically on HBO or whatever.
Name one.
Spider-Man.
Okay, you saw Spider-Man. Okay. Iron Man.
Iron Man 1 and 2 probably. I don't know. Is there a third one? I'm not sure.
Have you seen the Avengers?
Is that the one where Hulk and everybody is in it?
Everybody is in it, right.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen it. But I mean, it's just a passing fancy to me. I have not avoided seeing them. I just don't get geeked out to see them. That's not really my genre of film. And you know, the real victim here is Shaft. Why ain't nobody talking about Shaft? He's the first black superhero. I don't understand how y'all taking Shaft shine away from him.
So what are your feelings on Vivica Fox and the Change.org, and everybody thinks that Disney should donate 25% of the movie to the African American community?
Here's the deal, man. With all due respect to Vivica, if we're going to do that, then we need to go to Change.org and say, you know what, Vivica, you need to give 30% of your earnings to the Three Black Guys with a Mic podcast, just because. How about that? Whatever money you made this year, Vivica, you need to give to this podcast. You know, we have some expenses coming up later on this year. We have some things that we're doing to expand and be a bigger and better, you know, podcast. And we need your bread. How about that? Now, what do you think Vivica's going to say to me?
Hell no.
Exactly. So Vivica, go sit down somewhere, leave them folks alone, be very glad and happy that they put up $200 million or whatever the budget was for this, and another $200 million on marketing and promo, or another $150 million, whatever the real numbers are, and be happy that we are up on the screen, you know what I'm saying, doing in the Black Panther movie. Just be happy. It's not because you're doing too much. It's too much.
Was she asked for anything? Was she asked her opinion?
Exactly. Why are you speaking?
You know, the last time I seen Vivica Fox, she was on the on 50 Central on BET.
Was she?
Yeah. And
I thought her and 50 was beefed out.
They still had a little bit of a beef on the show, but she came on and she clowned and played herself. Vivica, sit down. She gets the lazy boy award. She gets the lazy boy. I mean, we don't need you to sit down and you're gonna be here for a while because you need to get comfortable. This is a lazy boy for you, Vivica. Kick your feet up.
I think you should change the cactus to the lazy boy award.
No, I'm creating new things on the spot.
Creating new things on the spot.
And that's why we need Vivica's money, so we can all get lazy.
Get creative. Right. We got to get creative.
Yeah, come on, Vivica.
Creativity, Vivica. Lisa, Linda, listen, Linda. We need you, Linda. Vivica. Creativity. But can I ask a couple quick questions real quick?
Of course you can. This is your podcast, sir. Of course you can.
Can I give Quincy Jones the cactus? Can Quincy Jones get some cactus for being wild, mad, disrespectful?
Why can't Quincy Jones live, though?
He can live, but do we need him to, while he's living, do we need him to put shame on the names of dead?
I mean, yes.
Quincy,
no, I don't know. Can Quincy Jones even get a cactus?
Listen, man.
Some people might be off.
We gave Russ the cactus.
Did we?
Yeah, but Russ that's assault. That's a little different, bruh. That's
allegedly,
assault / allegedly. Yeah.
All right. So let me just kind of break down and see exactly what happened here. So Quincy Jones said that Marvin Gaye and Richard Pryor were having homosexual sex with different people. Marlon Brando's name came up. And Michael Jackson was out here stealing everybody's song. Okay. Michael Jackson is the king of pop, right?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. No, not allegedly.
Allegedly.
Michael Jackson.
Allegedly.
Who else would be the king of pop? There would be nobody else. Now, the king of R&B, we might have a debate over.
There's no debate. I'll tell you what's not about that. Bobby Brown is not in that conversation.
Why not?
I thought you said it was Alexander O'Neal. You said it was Alexander O'Neal.
O'Neal got more hits than Bobby Brown. Be clear. Alexander O'Neal got more hits than Bobby Brown.
We should do a battle right now, Alexander O'Neal versus Bobby Brown. I thought it was R. Kelly who's the original king of R&B.
I'm not sure, but Whitney was definitely, what my man say, she's on Rocks and Blues.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so Michael Jackson is the king of pop.
Richard Pryor is the father of intellectual observation black comedy. And no slight to Dick Gregory.
Can you define what that means, actually?
It wasn't just like, Moms Mabley and Fred Sanford. I mean, not Fred Sanford. Sorry, Red Fox. Red Fox did, comedy. A lot of it was they were good jokes. They were somewhat, in many instances, what they call lowbrow comedy. They were just blue jokes for the sake of being blue sometimes, but they were funny and genius in their own way. Dick Gregory and Richard Pryor and Bill Cosby occupied a space where there was observational humor. Like they said, hey, have you ever noticed when you did such and such and so and so, and people would just kind of identify with those observations and it would become funny. And then he also added a level of intellect, and he was black. And so to what we know as that style, we could attribute that to either Dick Gregory originally or as the father, or Richard Pryor. But Richard Pryor is one of the two greatest black comics to ever walk the face of the planet upright. I would suggest that anyone who has a dispute with that fact is probably not very well versed in this conversation. Is that true?
You have no argument from me, sir.
Okay. And at the end of it, Marvin Gaye is the icon of soul singing. Is that right, or is that false? Marvin Gaye?
He's one of them. I don't know if he's the icon of soul singing, but he is one of them.
Okay. All right. One of a handful. Him, Smokey Robinson, and maybe
Stevie.
Al Green, Stevie. Some people might say Stevie is more on the house sound than whatever. The Chicago people will certainly would say that. But that's their thing.
I'm so disappointed in both of you guys. Especially Maynard, you being from Philly. You're not gonna put Teddy in there?
Teddy's major. The
Teddy
difference
ain't top five though.
Teddy might be top five, but what I would say is this.
What? Stop. All day, Teddy top five. Teddy top three, bro.
Nah.
And you got to put them Hell Melvin Blue Note records in there too, but that's still Teddy. You know what I'm saying?
But that was Teddy top three, dog.
Richie before I put Teddy in there.
Whoa,
nigga, please.
I'm gonna need you to go way back.
Wait a minute. Can we get the program director? Can you please
we off the rail, bro?
Yo, I'm gonna need you to fall back with.
Did you say Lionel Richie over
Richie?
Teddy?
Over Teddy?
Lionel Richie is
Once,
dope, but he's not.
Twice,
we said soul singing legend.
a lady.
Top first joints
Zoom.
were dope. I can't.
Zoom.
Yeah. Turn them off.
Come on, man.
Not over Teddy, bro. No.
So anyhow, the deal is this: these cats, as Chris Rock would say about the neighborhood he lived in, these cats soared. They had to fly to be as great as they are. They weren't just running the mill good. They were the best at it. Quincy Jones, you the best at what you... Yo, Quincy Jones is Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, R&B Hall of Fame, Jazz Hall of Fame. You played with the best of the best. You've done it all. We recognize and we appreciate you, my dude. You don't have to shoot on Richard Pryor, Michael Jackson, and Marvin Gaye to make yourself look bigger. In addition to that, if Marvin Gaye, who was a sex symbol at his time, who was romantically linked to several women, Richard Pryor saying, if they were having homosexual activities, did they come to Quincy Jones and say, hey, guess what, man, I slept with Marlon Brando? Did they go over to Quincy Jones and say, I slept? No. Quincy, were you there? And if you were there, you probably deserve some cactus. It's one thing to be out here dry snitching on your enemies. My dude, you out here snitching on the dead, on dead greats. And that's haterific. And for that, you deserve cactus. Runner up, Faison Love. My dude, just sit down. You're not.
What happened to
really
Faison Love? I missed that.
Oh, Lamont, did you hear this?
Yeah, I'm listening. I heard it. Yeah.
He came on the Breakfast Club and said Dave Chappelle ain't funny. And ain't nobody. Dave Chappelle, my nigga. First, I mean,
wait, Lamont. Now, you already did shitted on, Black Panther. You can't. You're not gonna give me no Black Panther hate and no Dave Chappelle hate in one show.
No. I'm not hating on Dave. Here's what I'm gonna say. First of all, Faison Love, we know, shout out to Faison. That's my twin brother. You know what I'm saying? Faison, he like good cigar, like Lamont. That's my man, 50 grand. But here's what Sway said when he was on Sway in the Morning, because they were talking about the same thing. He felt like there was a little personal in there some kind of way. Now, really what Faison Love said is true, because, hold up, let me finish. Because there are certain people. Have you ever been to a Dave Chappelle show?
I just went to a Dave Chappelle show in August at Radio City Music Hall, August 23rd, with Mos Def, Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Tucker.
I know, but I got you. Put your ego back in. Put your ego back in your pocket. You will say that 60 to 70% of the audience was non-African American. Would you agree?
What's that have to do with humor? What's that have to do with being funny?
Is that a yes or no?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, well, with the show that I went to, it was about 60 to 7% non-African American, and it was for two particular reasons. A, because of the price point, and B, what Faison was trying to say is people who are non-African American, they mess with Dave. And that's really what he was saying. Dave is a crossover comedian where you have people like Faison, or you have other comedians that are like ghetto, hood, somebody like D. Ray Davis. Like, you don't probably have a large, D. Ray Davis can't go to Radio City and sell out.
Does that make them funnier? Because somebody is ghetto or hood, does that make them funnier? Because
I think there are different kinds of funny.
No, he said he's not funny. He said he's not funny.
I think in Faison's world, he's not.
I don't know if Faison is. But does Faison have any authority to say that he's not funny? Because he's not. Because Faison's not funny. Now, if Chris Rock was saying that, if Chris Rock was saying Dave Chappelle was not funny, then it would be like, ooh, okay, well, now we got to really think about that. But Faison doesn't have any weight.
You're not going to bully me. You're not going to bully me because Faison should be able to have an opinion like anybody else.
How?
If Maynard could eat black peas with rice with sauce on his chicken that they call jerk. Then whatever that black but they're not green peas. They're like black something shriveled up, whatever.
Yeah, none of that is Maynard food at all.
Okay, but if Maynard can have that and he enjoy it, then Faison should be able to have an opinion. Why
God bless you, but my dude, if you get cut from the JV squad at the 200 plus high school, You don't have a chance to talk smack about Michael Jordan or Allen Iverson or Allen Houston for that matter. You this is not your space. Faison, you are really low key. Remember we discussed Monique? I'd go see Monique before I see Faison.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Cameron had any reason to call Jay-Z out and saying that he really wasn't good? It's like, Cameron, we like you, and I like Cameron. I'm a Cameron fan. I'm a Purple Haze fan. I'm a Dipset fan. But when he came at Jay-Z, I was like, Cam, you're not really in this arena to really talk about Jay-Z like that. So, Faison, I like you. You could probably, make me laugh if the new Friday movie comes out. Other than that, you don't really have any weight for you to say that Dave Chappelle is not funny because you're not getting $60 million from Netflix.
Have any of you guys seen the Faison Love half-hour special on HBO?
No, because I haven't. Hey, is there one?
Is there one?
No, but so that's the barometer, right? So we have to be white validated.
Wait, is there one on Comedy Central?
I don't think so.
Okay. Is there a BET special? There's a TV One special.
that didn't get the green light.
No, that didn't get the green light either. Okay.
No green light.
There's a YouTube special. The new Facebook is coming out, and there's a new Facebook Faison Love special coming out.
There is a DVD compilation at the barbershop. Faison special. You can get that for $5.
Wait, no, he is the new host of Shaq's All-Star Comedy Jam.
He is?
No, he's not. But he was once.
Oh, okay. I mean,
can I go back to? Can I go back? I'm sorry. Can we go back to? I gotta go back to the cactus.
Okay. Okay.
So, in the quote from Quincy Jones, Marlon Brando used to go cha-cha dancing with us. He could dance his ass off. He was most charming MFer. We're off the rails. So, motherfucker you've ever seen. He'd fuck anything. He'd fuck a mailbox. James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, Marvin Gaye. The person said, or the interviewer said, he slept with them. How do you know that? Come on, man. How did he not give a fuck? You like Brazilian music, which was the question mark. So, where is Quincy Jones wrong by saying that Marlon Brando would fuck anything? I'm trying to protect Quincy Jones here because I don't think he should get the cactus. But
hold on. Step one: if you my man and we cool, right? We know that Marvin Gaye, for instance, and Quincy Jones had to be kind of chill, right? All the Motown hits, all that stuff going on. I know that's really Berry Gordy, but Quincy was around for something in there, right? They had to have worked together. They had to have been cool. Richard Pryor, he had to have been cool with Richard. They know each other, whatever the case may be. If you my man and you running around here knocking off broads and I come out and I do a tell-all, that's some player hater shit.
Even if you dead?
Especially if you dead. Yo, man, Richard Pryor's daughter's out here. Marvin Gaye got people out here. Michael Jackson got blanket and pillow. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Prince.
You can't
Don't be disrespecting the millionaires.
Whichever, something like that.
Not anymore.
You can't be out, you know what I'm saying? Don't nobody need you to shoot at these people. That's A. And B, if they were sleeping with men, you still it's a man. First of all, just to open your mouth on it is a man code violation. That's a man code violation. You ain't supposed to tell no other man's business like that. Alive, dead, on life support. You ain't supposed to rat nobody out like that. That's
all the things that you told me about Lamont, I'm not supposed to say that one.
Don't say any of that shit, man.
Okay, cool.
Don't say none of that. You put it out there at the Elliot Spitzer thing. That wasn't me. But anyway.
Snitching.
I didn't say it. Now that it's out there, we can discuss it openly. Lamont, so the Elliot some bracelets or what? I mean, what happened? We want to know. Inquire. But anyhow, you cannot go out here doing. And then on top of that, I just don't see Marvin Gaye or Richard Pryor coming back. And listen, and we know that James Baldwin was homosexual, and so that's no surprise. But these men went out here and they had wives and they had families and they portrayed themselves in public, in their big time business persona as men. We don't need you, Quincy Jones, shooting at black men like this. These cats are heroes in the minds of a lot of people.
Yeah, but he's not talking about black men. He's actually talking about James Baldwin. I mean, he's talking not James Baldwin. He's talking about Marlon Brando.
Did he mention their names?
He did.
Did he mention their names?
But why? So you're mad at him because he mentioned the black people's names, but not the white man's
He
names.
could have just said James. He could have just said Marlon Brando likes sleeping around. He slept with men and women in mailboxes too. He slept with a dog if he wanted to. He didn't have to bring out nobody else's name. He didn't have to say that. He could have just kept it with Marlon Brando if he wanted to shoot on Marlon Brando. That's that level of dry snitching player haterism. That's a man code violation, man. That's a foul. Ejection from the game. Ejected. You can't. Would you now? The question is this: now that you know that he's out here snitching, you blow up. You got your game on. You out here doing all the Black Panther spots, and you all, they didn't bless you into Wakanda, and then you roll.
I didn't get blessed into Wakanda.
I'm just saying. Let's just say this happens, right? You blessed into Wakanda, and now you out in LA, you out in Hollywood. You see Quincy Jones. He said, "Hey, my man, I hear things are doing well for you." You say, yeah. He says, "Congratulations. Hey, look, brother, come to this party with me." You say, "Okay, great." And then you see some female, and she's like, "Oh, I know you. You that guy. You hype voice. You blah blah blah." And Quincy is looking over across the room at you. You gonna think twice about doing anything sideways, because he's a snitch.
Well, not necessarily with the girl part, but
anything sideways.
So, Maynard, let me ask you a question, man.
Nope. Nope.
On that note, we out. We out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday, with a special guest, ladies and gentlemen. A special guest. We'll be back with a very special guest who you have to tune in to see who it is, who the mystery guest is. A mystery guest you don't want to miss. Tuesday on Three Black Guys with the Mic.